Hello. Today, James Automotive here. I welcome you in my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, share, watch, like. As I always say, that in this field we sharpen each other, we encourage each other in the channel, we equip each other with highlighting, educating, giving solution. Today I feel we need to learn. As I welcome you guys, automotive is real, it is live. It's make work easier by transporting, by delivering, career, educating, and it is life. So here I am today. Just want us to check on CV joint, constant velocity joint. That is the one I want us to check. This one is the constant velocity joint. Those who have never seen the CV, this is the CV. This is the CV here. This is the CV. You can see the internal part of it. And I'll explain a bit of it, then I'll give maybe how you can know if one is the CV is faulty or is worn out. It gives a lot of noise when you are cornering, when you are driving, especially when you are cornering. It will always communicate, even if get a weird or clinching noise that is going to make you feel like it might break down anytime. So I'll show you a CV that I assembled the other day. I dismantled and assembled. This is the one that I bought, a new one, and it is 26 58 23. So we have inner and outer. We have the inner part, this one, if you see, you can see very well here. The inner part where the drive shafts join, and here is outer where the CV join the wheel hub, and we also have so we have 23. You can see here it is written here, you can see 23. There is 26, 58 and 23. There is inner and outer. So it is for NZD, filler, all spatial, all NZD that can fit on this CV. What do you think is a CV? I ask you people, what is a CV? CV is a constant velocity joint. That is a constant velocity joint that make the motion of the transmission the motion of allow the transmission power from the source of the engine. From the source of power, that is the engine. That is, the engine is the source of power, and it transmits that motion, all the power from the transmission gearbox. Transmission is wide from the engine, gearbox, propeller shafts, drive shafts, road wheels, all differential to the road wheels, axle road wheels, those shafts, half shaft and the drive shaft. So a CV is a constant velocity. That is, in short, is ACV, and that is a constant velocity joint in full, CV. But when you come in the field, we will tell you CV. So your CV is worn out, but in full term is constant velocity joint. It's a crucial component in vehicle, particularly those with drive shafts, those ones that are using drive shaft. Especially the front wheel, the vehicle that are using front wheel, they must have a CV, front wheel drive, all-wheel drive, all independent suspension. Those are the ones that are having a CV. So we can say a CV is a component in a vehicle, particularly those with wheel that are driven in front, and all wheel drive, all independent. Those are, it must be having a suspension, and with the knowledge I have, or the technical knowledge, is like this wrist of yours. You know the wrist? Arm wrist. That's can, if it's prey, it can turn, it can move. That's why we have a CV. I acknowledge the engineers, the, the inventors of the vehicle. Most of them, they were very creative, because you see, they see if you want to turn, you need a joint like this one, and it come out very well when you speak of a joint, CV joint, because if you want to turn, you have to either turn left or right. So mostly that is where the CV comes in. What is the purpose of a CV? If you can be given, if we can phrase that question, what is the purpose of a CV? People, what is the purpose of a CV? A CV, it's around the transmission that we have just talked about, power from the source of the vehicle, or any automobile, or automotive. Especially we speak of automotive, is any I can say any thing that can carry itself. It can move from one point to another. It can carry goods, animals, human being, from one point A to B. That is an automobile. That is an automotive. We speak of anything that can give the service of carrying, making work easier in transportation. So a CV, this CV here, and I'll show you this one. This is the CV. This CV, you see the CV? I'm speaking of CV. I don't know how I'll put this one. The CV, this CV, okay, let me do this. Let me put it here so that you can see it. I don't know what I can put on top so that it can be seen. How I need to be creative enough here. A minute, well, I can put it here and explain later. CV, this CV, a CV joint allow transmission, power, energy from the engine to wheels. We are talking of the wheels, road wheels, while enabling the wheels to move up and down with the suspension and turn with the steering. I hope it is well elaborated and taken home. What is the structure of a CV? What is the structure of a CV? What is the structure of a CV? What is the structure of this gadget? Is this CV? These components. These are components. What is the structure? What is the structure of CV? What is the structure? It's a structure, yes. What does it consist of? What does it consist of? It's a CV joint, a constant velocity joint, typically consists of inner and outer joints. This one, This is the inner joint there, that connected by a shaft. A shaft comes in here. Shaft comes in here. Shaft comes in here. Here, shaft comes in here. Shaft comes in here. So a CV joint, typically, we can speak, it consists of an inner and outer joint connected by a shaft. These joints consists or contain balls. Here inside. There are balls, but I think they were out because this one was faulty and it stayed for long without the client coming to the workshop for repair. So some balls are not here with me or with it, but these are structure that's demonstrating. It's a model now, demonstrating what is a CV, but these are real CV that I did the other day, and the vehicle is fine. So it's we can speak of it's a joint typically consists of an inner and outer joint connected by a shaft. These joints contain balls, we have said balls here inside, or lobes that allow stability and maintain constant velocity. Something constant, continuous, motion, continuous motion. We can speak of continuous motion. Constant, it is constant. Yes, if I am driving a vehicle at 100 or 80 speed per hour, that is constant. It should be constant. I speak of constant, that is, it is at a normal acceleration, not variating, not changing. So it is constant. You can speak of constant. So and you have heard of it is a constant velocity joint. So it does not change. So it does not change, it doesn't change. And when it changes, it is faulty. When it changes, it is faulty. So we are talking about CV. And I appreciate because we are starting to learn. This class, I know it will be actualizing, it will be activating, it will be educative, it will be equipping. When we learn together, we'll be growing together, because I believe in giving solution, equipping people, training. That is my line of duty. And also even repairing, I am good in that, and giving service and even advising. So we have said the structure, we have given the purpose of a CV, the structure. The next one, the import of a CV, the importance of a CV. CV, having these joints, my joints, it's very important, because if I want to pick something, I can pick at any angle. But CV is very important also in the vehicle, especially in the suspension, and especially giving you comfortability when you are turning, when you are driving. Yeah, you don't get those rattling, those wobbling in the road, or noise that comes in. So I want us to check on this importance of CV. CV joint ensure smooth power. Smooth power. Something smooth is something that is even you enjoy working with, or doesn't have noise, doesn't give you stress, especially on being a driver. When your CV is worn out, when your ball joint is worn out, when suspension is faulty, you are not comfortable because you don't know what will fall down the next minute. So CV joint, that is constant velocity joints, ensure this gadget ensure smooth power delivery. Delivery is taking from, let's say, from the engine, transmission, that is the gearbox, either automatic or manual gearbox. We call it transmission. Transmission, as I said, it is wide. From the transmission, that is the gearbox, to the road wheels. That is where now we have the drive shaft. The drive shaft, then CV joint, the hub, like that to the road wheels. So a CV joint, a constant velocity joint, it transmits by ensuring smooth power. Another term for power is torque. Torque in motion, torque, synergy, but we talk of torque on power. Energy. So it's deliver and help with steering and suspension movements. I should repeat that point. CV joint, that is constant velocity joint, ensure smooth. Write smooth with bold ink. Smooth power delivery. Smooth and delivery. And make sure it ensure. And help with steering. We are talking about steering. Steering, it's the one that give you direction. It's an assistance of showing all directing. Yeah, steering and suspension. It is part of suspension, by the way. Management, suspension management or achievement. When you want to achieve a turn, you have to use this gadget, this component, CV joint. So I can say the purpose of a CV. Yes, the purpose of a CV, this one, is ensuring smooth power, delivery and help with steering and suspension achievements, and that is where we achieve the comfortability of the driver when you are turning, when you are driving. Yes. So I can say conclusion, the answer for this training today is constant velocity joint. This gadget, this is the constant velocity joints. No, I feel I need sorry, I have to wipe my hands because it's having some grease here. You have to lubricate it. You have to make it that it is lubricated. And this is the CV. Those who have never seen the CV, the CV. Now I want to explain how to assemble, how to do the assembly. How to do the assembly. How to do the assembly. Because the assembly is very important. It's very important of the CV. CV, you have to do assembling, and if there is assembling, you have first of all to do disassembling, to disassemble. What is disassembling? To remove, to disconnect from the let me set my gadget. You disconnect it. I'm going to mark for you the question that I'll ask you. So keep there, be there till the end. We have disassembling. What do we disassemble? You have to disconnect CV from the suspension. That is the shock. We have this shock absorber. It's connected, especially if a front drive, as we have said. We have it might be we have said also all-wheel drive suspension. That is, as long as it's driven in the front drive, it must be having a CV joint. So the CV joint, the CV joint, that is that we are going to talk about how to disassemble the CV. That is how we do it. So you disconnect it. You do the disconnection. That is, you have to make sure you separate those parts. You disconnect, install those parts. That to disassemble is opposite of assembling. Na Kiswahili tunasema kutoanisha ama kutenganisha ama kuachanisha hizo parts za gari. Kiswahili is ngumu kiasi, and let me I'll be trying to highlight, but I can use Sungu, English. You clamp the shaft firmly. One thing, you clamp the shaft firmly in a vise. If you have a vise, you can clamp it. Remember, first of all, you started by disconnecting the shaft from the transmission and the wheel hub, and you have the shaft, the full shaft, right? The full shaft. So you have to disconnect it. Then you take it to the vise. That is where we are coming in with the vise. Don't ask how the vise now. The vise is coming in because you have to. It is going to hold for you. The vise is used to hold, to clamp. It can be used like a fastener here, because it's gonna hold two parts. This is the clamp will hold those clamp will hold the drive shaft together for you to be able to disconnect it. So now make sure you make sure don't damage the shaft, because you're gonna return the shaft in the transmission. But this CV, you are going to replace with a new one. So make sure you don't damage the CV. The next one is don't over tighten it in the CV, in the clamp. Usifinye sana, usi compress ama usi hold sana CV. You know, CV should be having good oscillation when it is running. It should have good oscillation. Remember, there is weight that is in that shaft. So when you press it or when you cramp it so much, you might make maybe make it to lose the oscillation, because it's gonna be unbalanced. So the oscillation will be imbalanced. The rotations, the circulation will be imbalanced. That is why. So the next one is don't. So remember. And before that, you make sure always there is what we call safety. I've forgotten to, but I am using the safety. You can see I'm wiping my hands. I have this to make sure that I am not slippery. So safety in a vehicle should be in a well leveled ground, and make sure you have a jack, a stand, and locking panels to make sure that the vehicle will not move. And then the jack is to jack the vehicle. When you are slackening, after you slacken the stand, then remove the wheel, then go direct to remove this bolt. See this bolt? You have to make sure you have number 30. The range should be number 30 or 32, depending on the millimeters, or depending on the size of this bolt and nuts, depending which is which. So you have to make sure you disconnect this. Then that is before you jack, because you need a stable ground when you're doing that. And when you lift the vehicle, you cannot be able to slacken or tighten these. Both slackening and tightening. Then the next one is, now you can slacken the stands. Make sure you now go to the suspension, that is the shock absorber. Disconnect the 2 bolts there. Then now start working. Sorry for that, I had forgotten the safety, but safety is paramount. Yes, because of your safety, make sure you follow the procedures, the pros and cons that can come out or can be there. Sometimes it's good. Protection is better than cure. When you hurt yourself, I don't think you'll be able to complete the task. So just make sure you are in safe mode. Right. Now we go back to the vise. Cramp it, or the cramp it. Make sure you tighten. You don't, but moderate, not more, not less. that is where you are not going to remove the fastener, that is the metallic fastener that is holding the boot. That is holding the boot. I don't know where the boot is, but that is the boot. I think I'll have to check on the boots with me. I don't know whether the boot is here. I can check for you the boot. A minute. I'm back. So I want to show you these things here. These are the tools. I've just mentioned the tools. These are part of the tools. You'll need to have a screwdriver. These are wrench tools. Yes, this is the one that you use here to open this, right? So then these are round nose plier, and this is a screwdriver. So I have tools here with me. Maybe next time we are gonna look on the tools. So I wanted to show you the boot. That is the one that we're gonna put here with the tie up. You can see. So, and here is a shaft. The shaft will be here. The shaft now will be coming out of this place. It will be like this. Let me. So it will be like that. You see? So the shaft will be, the drive shaft will be like this. So this is the CV joint, but now the shaft will be on this side. But I'm just giving an illustration, an example of how the boot will be. But the boot is on this side. Then this one is joining the wheel hub. And this is the gear for the ABS. That is where the ABS sensor gets the information of the motion of the drive shaft. That is, maybe we're gonna check on it the other day, on another day. So this is the boot. This is the boot. So that is the one that we are gonna use. And then we have grease. I have grease here with me. I'll show you the grease. So after now you disconnect this tie wrap. Let's say, for example, this tie wrap here. because it is always here. Let me demonstrate. This tie wrap, it is a fastener. It is a fastener. It's a fastener. It's a fastener. So already I have fastened. For example, if it was here inside, I've fastened it. So with the tie wrap. But we have a metallic one that is mostly, especially the one that comes with the CV, it is metallic, right? To fasten these grease boots, right? Yes. So we are still in the dismantling. I try to be very fast. Yes, it is wide and it is taking, it can take time the whole day here, especially in explaining. So I will be highlighting very fast. So the next one will be, now you have the shaft, you have the CV joint with you. You have it, the shaft when it is complete. Sorry, I don't have the shaft with me here, but it is complete. I'll show you maybe next time. So the next one, let me put this camera visually good so that you can see me. So the next one will be, now you have the shaft with you, you clamp it, you already disconnect the grease bolt and the CV joint. How do you disconnect the CV joint with the shaft? Some vehicles or some CV joint, they have a hollow hole here. So you can use I'm back. So you have already disconnected the shafts. I was saying, you disconnect it. You can use a shaft here. It's having a hole here. So you put that bolt and fasten it. So the shaft that is here is gonna be pushed, and it will disconnect automatically with the shaft. Sometimes mechanics, they tend to be using force. So you can take this one. You either break this joint here inside and balls and this housing, all of it. You will either break the CV or because there is a lock inside here that is in the shaft side. That is, it's either break or those internal teeth, they gonna break, and that shaft will not be able to hold the CV joint. So it's advisable you use the procedure that is recommended, right? So I'm taking you slowly, and I hope by the end of this lesson you'll be able to DIY, do it yourself. You'll be able to do this one either yourself or you have a crew, you have a knowledge how it is done, right? Yes, you can say by the end of it all, you'll have taken some point that can help you, and maybe to do it even yourself, or if you take it to your mechanic or to your technician, he or she will do it perfectly. But you have idea. The aim is to have idea, and those who are now in the field, we are encouraging each other and we are giving each other the knowledge. We are equipping each other. Me, I train, but I say it's not training. We train. We train because somebody is good in hands-on, and I'm also good in hands-on. That is my line. I also am a trainer, and I'm still learning how to train better every day. So the next point, very fast. Point number two. The first one was you already dismantle it from the transmission system, suspension system. You disconnect and you have the shaft with you. You have the CV. I've said this is the, assume this is the CV and the shaft together. I don't have the CV here, the full drive shaft with me, but assume now this is the one that taking that. Clamp it and make sure you don't damage it. The next point is the next point after that is already you have clamped it. What do you want to do? You remove the raj boot. This is the raj boot for this CV. This is the raj boot for this CV, and I said this is where the boot will be. So you are removing it, you are disconnecting it, because it is mostly held by this tie wrap. This tie wrap. This tie wrap is the one that we use. This is a fastener, right? This is a fastener, and the fastener. I'm not gonna spoil it, but for demonstrating. But I have many of them. I have so many fasteners with me here. Like I said, they are metallic. There are some metallic fasteners. These are plastic one. So it is the one that hold the bush and the CV. The boot and the CV. So now this is the Raj boot. You disconnect. Then from there now you use the method I was saying of putting a fastener here, that is bolt, that's gonna push or press the CV and the drive shaft, right? I think it's well noted and taken home. The next one is now after you are done with this, one, the next one you have to make sure now after and then you disconnect the CV and the drive shaft. First of all is the Raj boot from the fastener that is holding it. That is I'm giving an example of this because this is the one that we use. This is a tie wrap. That is a fastener. It is categorized as a fastener. So the next one is remove what? You remove the Raj boot. I have done that, and you have used that method or that technicality of disconnecting using a bush. Some mechanic we're gonna heat. We're gonna use heating, which is not very advisable because you might break the teeth or the gears that are gonna align the CV joint and the drive shaft. What next? So remove the boot, remove the CV, and you disconnect them. That is after removing the boot band here with using the pliers. I told you this is the pliers I'm using here. I have tools with me here. This is the pliers. Those who are not familiar with the pliers, these are pliers, and I hope everyone is familiar with the pliers. This is a tool that Most of the time we use them even in our homestead, in our workplace, even in the vehicle. You should have a pliers and a screwdriver, and even a wrench number 10, 12. Those are tools that you can use to tighten the battery terminal. And sometimes there are things that before you come to me or to the mechanic or to the technician, there are things that you can do on your own. You can DIY them. You can do them yourself, because you don't wait till you come to the workshop so that I can tighten the terminals. Sometimes I always train people to be self-driven, to buy. There are things that you can do on your own, and that is why we are there to equip you before you come to the major things, because you won't wait the vehicle to stall or to stop, and there are things that you can do to facilitate it to come to or to arrive to the workshop. The next one is so you remove the boot band with pliers, that is slide. Yeah, you cut it, you can slide it, you can use a slide cutter. I have a slide cutter, but it's a bit far away. I'll show you tools. There's a day I want to we go through the tools, because it's very important you know how tools works. We have what? We have what? What do we have? A minute. I need rights. I've just switched off the setting here. Right would be good. I think you can see me still well. And I can do writing. I think writing would be fine. There is right now. Good. Okay. Now the next one is what we call the next point is number 3. Point number 3 is remove small boot band. So we have one in the transmission side, and the other one is the wheel hub. So we have already removed the one came with the drive shaft. There is another one in that side where we have the inner part. Assume this is our gearbox and this is our shaft. So this is the bigger boot. The inner boot, that is a bit smaller, because we have two CV joints. And connected. So, but one is inside. But we are now working on this. This is the one that gets faulty most of the time. So, remove small boot, that is the inner one, boot band, in the same manner, the one that you did in the removing of the big one. Yeah, so the large one. So the same method that you're gonna use. Number 4, slide boots off the joint towards the center of the shaft. Number 5 is knock joint. There is a knock joint off. You knock the joint off the shaft. You knock the joint shaft off. The shaft. using a soft hammer. It can be a mallet made of wood or hard plastic or rubbers. Soft one should not be a metallic hammer because of fault that I told you. When you hit metal, it become an imbalance, especially a shaft. And you remember, we want to achieve a good oscillation. We don't want to be hearing of noise that are uneven and there is be no uniformity when there is oscillations or circulations or rotations. Because when you hit a metal, a bar or a rod, it's gonna lose weight or increase. It will be imbalanced. So mostly that is what happened. So number 6, that is, oh sorry, we are still in number 5. That is where you use a soft hammer, a copper or a plastic, that as I've said. In this one you can use, I have in the workshop I have a wooden hammer. But mostly mechanic they use metallic hammer. Those are ball hammers, those one. So the use of a steel hammer, get this, note this, could cause the tips to spread out here. You can even, you see, as in the shaft, if you use a hammer here, the shaft is having these grooves. You might make them not even be able to join easily to the shaft. So that is to spread out. To spread out is like this groove that you can see here. They cannot be able. The CV will not be able to join the shaft because you have spread that metal. So it is not gonna be able to pass there. Number 6, we are going gradually. Number 6, remove the sacrip. Oh my God, I have a sacrip. It's the one that you put here, you put around here, but it is on this side of the shaft. So it is where it is a rock that's used to protect the shafts and the CV joints not to disconnect or separate. Number 7, remove the boot. That is on the inner side. Number 8, clean the shaft. Clean the shaft. You clean the shaft. Assume this is our shaft. You have to clean it very well. You don't need to clean this because you are not going to reuse it because you have a new one. You are going to replace it with the new one. This is the new one. So you don't need to use this old one. You need to use a new CV joint. It is advisable. You don't reuse it. You don't. But if it is the grease that was not enough, or there was no grease for application, remember this is a joint that is rotating and also it is cornering. It is used to give direction of different angles. So movement here is in oscillation or in motion and also turning. So remember that. So this is the new one. This is the new CV that is gonna be used. This is the new CV now here. So that sacrip enters here. It enters like that. This assume these are the shaft. So because the shaft is like this. This is the shaft of sort. This is the shaft. But I don't have the shaft. This shaft. But it is always of this dimension and size in terms of millimeters, so, or centimeters depending. So this is the new CV that I replaced, and with this one now old one. So that is, so we have said, sorry, excuse me, we have said remove the CV, the boot. Now remove the boot. From the boot, clean the shaft. After I clean the shaft, you can use the fuel, or you can use whatever cleaning agent, that is like WD-40. Where's the WD-40? To remove the grease, or the greaser. The greaser remove the grease very well, because you can't return that shaft with oily, and it is not safety wise. It is not healthy safety wise. So that is. So the next one now is this. Is we have done the disassembling or dismantling. This means to disengage, to disconnect. This, to separate, to separate, to put aside, the best term is to separate. I can notice. So the next one is assembly, and there is always a rule I have in mechanical, automotive, in mechanical. The way you separated, the way you dismantled this CV joint, exactly the same way you are going to assemble it. Get that point. NB, back of your mind, remember, in your medulla oblongata says NB, your IQ, your brains should be not that. The way you went is the way you come back. The route that you used, the same distance you are going to. But if you're gonna use a shortcut, fine. But there is no shortcut, because the way you dismantled is the way you are going to assemble, right? Or install. That is. Let's continue, because it is becoming sweet, and it is becoming it is becoming good, and the lesson is, to me, is now becoming the understanding is now sinking. The skills, the task is now sinking. So now we go to us. I have said the way there is a statement we used when we were learning chemistry, when we were doing the mole concept. We call it titration. We said the reverse is true and parallel, maybe. So even here I implement it very well, because the way I dismantle this is the way I'm gonna assemble it. Okay, maybe. So now, what is to disassemble or to assemble? Already we have seen to this is to separate. So now we are joining together. We are putting together, so that now we can return the shaft when it is fully fledged, fully assembled, to be taken back to the vehicle. So the point number one is I can say is now to join the shaft and the CV joint, to join them. That is the point number one, and that is, remember, you have to start with this shaft. The boot, you have to make sure you put this in the shaft. You see, you have to make sure you put it in the shaft, because you join you before, because you can put them in the center of the shaft as they await for you to put them in the CV joint, and the other one the inner and the outer. So you have to make sure you place a boot, and that is the place the big boot and the small boot band on the shaft. That is where you're gonna use it. Let me demonstrate. Assume this is our shaft, so you put the bigger boots here, you put them, and assume now the other one will be opposite, you put it there. We are waiting for you to put it back on the transmission. Hope we are going together when we are learning. Continue supporting me by subscribing, watching, and sharing as we equip each other, and we learn together and grow, because it is gradually. Yeah, it is good to be learned and educated, and that is where you have skills. You learn skills by listening, by watching, by seeing, by getting interest, by having passion to know. Yeah, so that's why we are there, to highlight and equip each other. So the number 2, you place what? Sometimes you'll understand me. The English is sometimes terms that we use in the ground, but we will go hand in hand together, and I hope you'll understand what I want to deliver. So number two. What do you think of number 2? Number 2 is what do you think of number 2 is you have now put the boot in the shaft. You take now the CV. You put the CV. Place the circlip in the CV here. You put assume this is our shaft. You put the circlip. That is, you put the circlip, because you have to make sure that the CV joint and the shaft are fully locked well. The circlip in. You put the circlip in the groove. The groove is like in this thread. One of the because it's having the grooves, and there is a groove for reed where it is pressed. Place it. Shafts use what? The new one, because this one comes with a new shaft. It comes with a new circlip. So you have to put the new one. The next one, don't use the old one. That is the advice I can give. But if you don't have sometime, because of tear and wear, excuse me, because of tear and wear, you are advised to. If you don't have, don't even throw away the old one, because you don't know what can happen. Sometimes it breaks down, so use the new one. And if you feel like the old one is fine for you, well and good. So number three point, after you have put the circlip, now come in here, feel the joint. Which joint? The CV joint. There is joint. Fill that joint with grease for What? Grease is for lubrication. Then where there is motion. When there is motion, we need lubrication. I began with saying about the wrist. Even this wrist of mine, of yours, is done lubrication by the body. There is fat, there is bone marrow, there is a lot of things. That is biology, but we are in physics here. But the same is taking place. So it's a joint, should be moving now and then. So make sure that there is that joint that you're gonna have grease. Make it slippery. Make it slippery for ease, for movement. It isn't the movement, right? And to avoid corrosion, to avoid tear and wear of metal. When metal are not having enough lubrication, and you know the grease is good because of the temperature, degrees, heat, because the motion that is there, you remember, it is transmitted. So the movement, there is also, due to motion, there is heat. So grease should be good in maintaining the condition of heat. That is, because that grease, you are not going to remove it tomorrow or today. It's gonna take an year. It's gonna take 2 years, depending on how you're gonna use your multi or your vehicle. So that is the third point. You make sure that you feel the joint, this joint here, and already there is shaft. You have put the shaft. Remember, we have said of the grip, then the shaft is in. So grease should come in for it to be slippery. It should be slippery. It should be slippery, and so that it's gonna not go to the friction. So you make sure it is you put the grease, should be stripped in the kit, that is. So number 4, I hope we are still there. Number 4 is to align. You do the aligning. Make sure you align, right? Number 4 is aligning. Yeah? You make sure align the inner. Align this inner. Align the inner. You can see the inner. You see? Align the inner race. There is a race here. Spline with the shaft. With the shaft, spine, and force joint, that is the CV joint, this one, force it inside. Force it inside. Force it inside toward the crib, and be sure, don't miss. Make sure, I'm just kidding. Be sure the crib is done what? Centered. The crib is centered. It is in the middle. Well, centered in the what? What do you can mean in the what? In the shaft, or in the chamber, because inside here there is chamber. That one, there is that chamber, or the inner diameter, or that I can speak of maybe the chamber. So make sure it is aligned, so that it's gonna ease. It's gonna ease that shaft and the CV joint motion and working together, fitting. Are we together? So that is point number 5. Now we go to number 5. What do you do number 5? Already you have joined the CV and the shaft, and make sure you align the clip so that it can be, you can be able to force it forward. Eh? Yeah, that is my point. That is my point. I hope nimeeleweka or been understood, and if not, we'll still move on together. You can still find out what else can be done or which method can be used. You have a room to do that. Number five. Now make sure you already you have aligned in the chamber inner race. So what next? You're gonna tap it. You use a hammer, the hammer that we talked of. That is, you tap it. You tap it. Let's see. Sometimes, depending on if you are equipped with machines, fine. There is a machine to do that, to compress, to place it. But now, let's say you are in Juakari, you are in the garage, maybe the third garage, or we can speak of second garage. We have first garage. Those are very equipped. So we can speak of maybe that garage. It is a garage not fully fledged, not fully equipped. So you use common sense, which is not common to everyone. So, now you tap it. You tap the joint into shaft with a plastic, not better, a plastic or a wooden hammer, until it is locked by the circuit. It's gonna work like that, right? It's gonna work like that. So the next one is point number 6. We are assembling now. We are almost, and we're gonna go to a road test together. Pack the back of the joint. With the remaining grease. Pack it. You put the grease here, but now it is on this joint, CV joint. Pack it with the remaining grease that you have already used. You have put some. You put now the remaining grease. No wastage. Remember, it's a new grease, and new grease is a bit expensive. So, we said we are doing it to have a span of 2 years. When it is maybe in case of no breakdown, even 3 years. Yeah, CV joint can stay even 4 years or 5 years, depending on how and where you drive your vehicle, and if you are not passing, especially a place where there is mushy, there is dust, and make sure you work on this. You can change this often, now and then, the boot, because when this one is faulty or is worn out, dust will enter in the CV joint, and there will be friction because of water will enter in. There will be air that is, there will be mist. There are so many that will come in, even stones, so can cause this CV to be faulty very fast. So make sure you work on your boots two of them now and then, because if you can be able to on the boot, the CV can stay for long, because the problem comes in when water enters in the CV joint when this boot is faulty, right? The next point is number 7. Number 7. Are we together for number 7? Are we ready for number 7? Number 7 is speaking of what? I've done some point, so I'm checking some point. Don't so that we can go gradually till the end. So number 7 is speaking of wipe off the grease around the joint. So so I said you should have this towel or garment or armory. We call it armory cloth. Armory cloth. A mechanic should have this to wipe his or her hands for safety. It is part of safety to work well, right? Okay, the next point is now, as I've said, it is wipe off the grease around the joint and then stretch the boot. This boot, stretch it. Yeah, already this one is stretched, but see now when it is here, make sure you stretch it, right? So simukaekae na huko. Merudi. You are back. Go, usiangushe simu yangu. Pita. Duka hapo na unyamaze kidogo nimalize kitu nafanya. The next point is what? The next point, wipe off the grease around the joint and then stretch boot over. Watch nimalize, ndio usiongee, niko live. Umesikia? Okay, I'm back. The next point is you wipe off the grease around the joint and then stretch boot over the joint to the correct position. Ensure that the boot rim fits firmly around the joint without tension. Number 8, tighten large boot band with the proper with the proper tool, use new boot. This is a new boot. I hope you have seen the new boot band supplied in the kit. So I said we are gonna use this. We're gonna use this tie wrap here. We're gonna use this tie wrap. So then number 9, ventilate boot. This is done by inserting a dull screwdriver between the boot and the shaft to allow trapped air to escape. When you are assembling the boot, there is air, as I said, and remember this one is gonna fit the shaft tightly. So you have to make sure you do. Let me demonstrate using the screwdriver. So you can use the screwdriver to inflate air. You can use it to inflate. So that is because we don't need air, as I said, because of moisture, because of a lot of things, because when there is, it can also even affect that boot, and you remember it's a new boot. So number 10, tighten small boot band. Tighten small boot band with the proper tool. That is, we use pliers and the screwdriver. We use pliers and the screwdriver to tighten this band well. So that is the last point. That is check to ensure cross fits of boot band. Boot rim should be in full contact with joint. So that is assembling. So we have done disassembling and assembling, and now we are ready now to take it to the vehicle to assemble it back to what? To assemble it back to the vehicle, that is to join it in the transmission and in the wheel hub and the road wheel. And now you are ready to go to the road trip or the road test. So that is all about CV joint, and I hope I'm well, good, and taken home. Maybe that is for today. So guys, I think I am well taken and understood. I hope we will keep in touch by equipping ourselves in this channel, and we are beginning. I hope next time we're gonna look on maybe another system or another component. So I say it again, keep watching, subscribing, and liking the channel and sharing as we grow together, as we equip each other in this field of automotive, James Automotive. And that is the end of our lesson today. So we have checked on CV. Jerry, you're back. Mimi niko class. Niko shule.